be here, and it's so good to see people on screen. I wish I was seeing you all in person. Just having social interaction is something I'm missing right now. I'm just very happy to be here. So before I go on, I am Rosemarie Thompson. I'm the UFT school counselor chapter leader. I'm also a school counselor in my own school in the Bronx. So I live and work the life that you all are living, and the days I'm here for this union, I'm here, but I'm pretty much a union rep, 7 days a week, and I'm a school counselor 24 hours a day. So I want to thank Natasha. Natasha, you have been a great friend of our chapter and of the school counseling profession for the last 6 years. I met you when you first held your first event at Harlem Mist. We had it there for 2 years. Giovanni came, Regine came, a lot of the members of our executive board came, chapter members were there, our delegates were there, and we had a blast, right? We played we had archery, we had a blast. The second year, you did it again in Harlem Mist, and then things changed up as we moved on throughout the years. But nonetheless, you're always remembering National School Counseling Week, and you have school counselors in your mind. So I appreciate it so much. And lastly, you've also been a part of our conference for the last few years. Mm-hmm. Next year is our 17th annual conference, everybody, and we will be having it virtually. I'll put the date in the chat. It is March 20th. It's our first virtual conference. Our chapter seems to always be the ones moving ahead with the UFT, and I'm always the guinea pig. So I'm trying, because there's so many changes at the UFT, and Gio knows that whenever we say we're going to do something, there's always something new, and then I have to figure it out along. So soon I'll be sending a blast just to say Happy National School Counseling Week next week, and more information on our conference that I hope that I can get thousands of counselors on, because it's a virtual conference. So March 20th, just write that down. It's a Saturday. It's going to be 3 hours, March 20th, probably from 10 to 1. And Regine, Giovanni, and the executive board and our delegates are all planning it right now, okay? So I also have to thank Michael and the Department of Ed. They are here with Dr. Farley, who's here representing the Office of School and Youth Development. They've always been a part of this since day one. Like Gail said, I was the past president of NISCA. I was on the ground when all these new counseling regulations were coming around. It was great for the chapter because it put school counselors at the forefront to spearhead things in schools as we work in collaboration with the other stakeholders. But basically, the reg said that everything kind of has to be created, not kind of, but has to be created and done by the school counselor, which gives us a very big leadership role. And that is what we have to embrace. We made many headways during these regulations, and they're now being implemented this year. This has been a tough last year and a half, I would think, for everybody. Who would have thought that after bringing in 2020 and celebrating it, we would be faced with this pandemic and the challenges that it may have brought. I want to recognize some of our members who may have lost their family and friends or loved ones during this pandemic. I also would like to recognize the amount of work and the challenges that it has brought to us, because we are really putting in a lot of time to show the support that we have for our kids. It's a lot different than our teacher colleagues, not to poo-poo them, because they're doing work too, but we have to wiggle our way into the world to be able to see our students and work around a schedule that does not always fit for us. I just want to say a few things on self-care for us. I wrote down this morning as I was thinking about it, because, you know, we listen to everybody every day, but I don't know who's listening to us. I don't know if we're just sitting at home talking to ourselves, but I don't know if you're answering yourself back. But we are always the listeners, and we're the consummate professionals in supporting people. But when you close your doors and you go home, you got your own stuff to deal with. And so we have to always think about self-care, no matter what. It's hard to do, but no matter what. So I just jotted down a few things. I said for myself, self-care doesn't really have to cost us a lot of money. We can play some music when we get home for ourselves. Just play whatever tunes you like to get you out of the day-to-day routine. Think about at least 2 good things that happen throughout the day, or that's happening with you. And you don't want to have to sit there and dwell on the negative. Find that positive piece in what you're doing. You can also write. Many people write just to decompress. And sometimes that's cathartic for folks, but you can write and or take up another hobby in something else that you're doing, which is what I'm trying to figure out what to do right now. Today is National Puzzle Day. And my mother was a big person who loved to do jigsaw puzzles. And I have my Bob Marley puzzle to finish that I was hoping she would do for me, but she didn't. So I said, you know, Rosemarie, maybe this is the time that you can start to do that and bring in your family and friends to make it somewhat fun. You know, I used to remember that game Twister. I'm dating myself maybe, but Twister. You could have a lot of fun with board games. And I know right now it's not to have a big gathering in your home, but if you're in your home with your own youngsters and your own family members, it's just something fun to do other than sitting down and watching the TV and dwelling on things. Folks, I know that we're the voice of reason for our students. And I've been hearing from members throughout this whole pandemic, and it's tough for every single person. But I know that at the end of the day, we truly love our jobs and we do find a way to be there for our kids, sometimes more than we could even imagine, but we also have to make time for ourselves so that we continue to have that positive outlook, which is not always easy, but we have to try our best to do that. So I want to thank you for all of your dedication, your passion, and your service throughout this virtual remote time. And things will continue to get better for us as we go on throughout the school year. My friend and colleague on this call is Jocelyn Bird, and I have been reading this poem for the last 2 or 3 years now at our conference, not thinking it would take off, but may he rest in peace, Ron Smith. He was the middle school vice chair for our chapter for many years. And Ron introduced me to this poem. So if you would mind, I would just like to read it to everyone. It's become a poem that I read all the time. Yeah, on the Bob Marley puzzle, I love it. I have it back here. If you want to come help me out, man, come and help me out with it, you know? I love Ron Smith. So may he rest in peace. But I'm going to read the poem, if you don't mind, from him right now, because it is for us. So it's written by Joe Cass, just for you, a school counselor. Why I love what I do. Why I do what I love. I am a doctor. I provide prescriptions for academic success. I am a lawyer. I have school trials every day. I am a surgeon. I perform academic surgeries with students at risk. I am a policeman. I contribute to keeping schools safe. I am an astronaut. I shoot for the stars with each of my students. I am a pastor. My caseload is my congregation. I am a carpenter. I nail lifelong lessons every chance I get. I am a custodian. I pick up unresolved issues. I am an accountant. I track data to determine what works. I am a school counselor. I am a professional, a school counselor by choice. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope Jocelyn enjoyed that. I kept her in my mind as I did it. Again, it's my pleasure to be here. I'm a school counselor like everyone else on this call. I know the work of this profession and I truly cherish all of you. And I'm very proud of the work that we're providing to our kids every single day. So thanks again for having me, Natasha. And thanks for reminding us of National School Counseling Week, because it is next week. So celebrate yourselves, go online, do the announcements if you can. It's the time that we have to tout ourselves and let people understand our work. Thank you again.